Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Honorable members, distinguished guests, may we now observe a moment of silence, prayer, or meditation. Thank you. Honorable members, the country has lost men and women who selflessly served in pursuit of peace, and their sacrifice will forever be honored and remembered. May we rise and observe a moment of silence in honor of the 14 members of the South African Defence Force who were killed during the peacekeeping mission in the Republic of Congo. May we all rise? Thank you. You may be seated. Honorable members, I have, in terms of Rule 47 of the Standing Rules of the Northwest Provincial Legislature, given access for non-members of the Legislature to occupy floor seat of the chamber for the duration of the sitting. His Excellency Mokgosi of Mahikeng Royal House and the Executive of House of Traditional Leaders have been allocated VIP section of the chamber. Let me take this opportunity to welcome all members of the legislatures, member of the Executive Council, and all distinguished guests present here today. Honorable members, this sitting is convened in terms of Section 110, subsection 2 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, and read in conjunction with the Section 16 of the Northwest Provincial Legislature Standing Rules to allow the Premier to present the annual State of the Province address. I will now call on the Premier of the Northwest Province, Honorable Mokgosi Lazarus, to present the State of the Province Address 2025. Honorable Premier. Order, honorable members. Order. Oh, kenna Premier.
No water, no sound. It's a problem.
Hello.
can adjourn for 10 minutes so that you attend to technical issues.
Premier, use the mic.
Speaker, I propose that we adjourn for 10 minutes so that you attend to the technical issues.
Thanks,
that,
you may
we
sit,
don't-
Honorable Babuile, you may sit. Honorable members, I knew this is going to happen. That's why I made a provision. In mic don't work, we have a roving mic. We are not going to adjourn the House. The Premier will have to use the roving mic because this is a deliberate thing.
Speaker, Speaker. Speaker.
Mia ya ke hele.
Director General in the Office of the Premier, Dr. Mokgosi, Head of Departments and COEs of Public Entities, the Acting Provincial Commissioner of the South African Police Service, Major General Patrick Asane, heads of our security services, members of the diplomatic corps, my beautiful wife, Mokgosi, and my three children present here, Kagiso, and Orati. Invited guests, members of the media, and fellow compatriots. Honorable Speaker, the State of the Province address today sets the tone for the implementation of the medium-term development plan and GDP 2025-2030. collaborative process with various stakeholders to find consensus on matters of socio-economic concerns confronting the province. I need outright to indicate that as employment and poverty confronting our community. We are a province endowed with natural resources such as minerals and weather conditions that permit a conducive environment for agriculture to thrive, as well as majestic tourist attraction sites that we must exploit, create economic opportunities.
Utlweletse ka tlhoafalo. Candles. Utlweletse ka tlhoafalo.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Honorable members, distinguished guests, may we now observe a moment of silence, prayer, or meditation. Thank you. Honorable members, the country has lost men and women who selflessly served in pursuit of peace, and their sacrifice will forever be honored and remembered. May we rise and observe a moment of silence in honor of the 14 members of the South African Defense Force who were killed during the peacekeeping mission in the Republic of Congo. May we all rise? Thank you. You may be seated. Honorable members, I have, in terms of Rule 47 of the Standing Rules of the Northwest Provincial Legislature, given access for non-members of the Legislature to occupy floor seat of the chamber for the duration of the sitting. His Excellency Mokgosi of Mahikeng Royal House and the Executive of House of Traditional Leaders have been allocated VIP section of the chamber. Let me take this opportunity to welcome all members of the legislatures, members of the Executive Council, and all distinguished guests present here today. Honorable members, this sitting is convened in terms of Section 110, subsection 2 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, and read in conjunction with the Section 16 of the Northwest Provincial Legislature Standing Rules to allow the Premier to present the annual State of the Province address. I will now call on the Premier of the Northwest Province, Honorable Mokgosi Lazarus, to present the State of the Province address 2025. Honorable Premier. Order, honorable members, order.
Oh, ke nna Premier.
No water, no sound, it's a problem.
Hello.
so that you attend to technical issues.
Premier, use the mic.
Speaker, I propose that we adjourn for 10 minutes so that you attend to the technical issues.
Thanks.
that,
You may
we
sit,
don't-
Honorable Babule, you may sit. Honorable members, I knew this is going to happen. That's why I made a provision. In mic don't work, we have a roving mic. We are not going to adjourn the House. The Premier will have to use the roving mic because this is a deliberate thing.
Speaker, Speaker. Speaker.
Chief Whip of the Majority Party, Honorable Mokgosi, Honorable members of the Executive Council, Honorable members of the Provincial Legislature, Honorable members of Parliament present here today, I want to acknowledge the presence of Minister for Correctional Service, Mr. Hugemal. Also welcome in our midst Deputy Kagiso, our permanent delegate, National Council of Province, the Judge President of the Northwest Division of the High Court, Judge Ronald Hendricks, Chairperson of SARCA, Councillor Kumaro Lefe, Chairperson of the House of Traditional and Western leaders, Mokgosi, Mahikeng, Mokgosi, executive mayors and mayors of different Northwest municipalities, leaders of faith-based organizations, trade unions, and civil society. The Vice Chancellor of the Northwest University, Professor Bismarck Jobeka, Director General in the Office of the Premier, Dr. Paul Mokgosi, Head of Departments and COEs of Public Entities, the acting Provincial Commissioner of the South African Police Service, Major General Patrick Asane, heads of our security services, members of the diplomatic corps, my beautiful wife, Ipile Sylvia Mokgosi, and my President, Kagiso, and invited guests, members of the media, and fellow compatriots. Honorable Speaker, the State of the Province address today sets the tone for the implementation of the medium-term development plan and TDP 2025-2030 in the next 5 years. The MDTV is anchored on 3 strategic priorities: inclusive growth and creating jobs, reducing poverty, and tackling the high cost of living, as well as building a capable, ethical, and developmental state. Delivering the State of the Nation address, His Excellency, President Cyril Ramaphosa, maintained to achieve these objectives, a government that works for the people is needed. And I want to quote you. He said, "We need a state that is capable and competent, underpinned by a professional public service, leaders who are prepared to serve our people with complete dedication, and public servants who are ethical, skilled, and properly qualified. Unquote. Honorable members, the 2025 State of the Province Address is a culmination of a broader consultative process with various stakeholders to find consensus on matters of socio-economic concerns confronting the province. I need outright to indicate that as a province we are concerned about the high levels of unemployment and poverty confronting our communities. We are a province endowed with natural resources such as minerals and weather conditions that will make a conducive environment for agriculture to thrive, as well as majestic tourist attraction sites that we must exploit to create economic opportunities for our people. Mahikeng, the quarterly labor force survey, where our province shared 20,000 jobs, putting the expanded unemployment rate at 52%, must galvanize and unite all of us to tackle these issues head on. Therefore, aggressive measures are needed to find solutions to these challenges. To find solutions to these challenges. Musa Koga, Amaru, Ribusa Monta Koteta. Tajalo, Kerata Udirisa Chole, Huikwela, Mokgosi, Baruti, Balemurui, Viteo Tapora Feti, Leba Kakakaret, Kojara Joko Lerona. Honorable Speaker, this SOPA comes 2 days after we hosted a memorial lecture of Aziz Fahad. A panel of experts comprising of the wife to Dr. Aziz Fahad, Professor Adina Fahad, Vice Chancellor of the Northwest University, Professor Bismarck Jore, and Minister of International Relations in Botswana, Dr. Pino Butali, gave an account on the life and times of Dr. Fahad. Aziz Fahad, an activist, diplomat, and a native of our beloved province, was born in Switzerland on the 25th December 1940 and dedicated his entire life in the struggle for liberation and the creation of a united, non-racial, non-sexist democratic state. Honorable members, I have no doubt that Dr. Fahad would have presentation of the State of the Province address coincides with the 70th anniversary of the Freedom Charter, as well as the Dr. Rusi Mumpati centenary. Dr. Rusi Mumpati was born on the 14th of September 1925 in a small village of Tapeni, Kagiso, now known as Kagiso Morocco local region. She was one of the first women to go into exile to join the controversies with the military wing of the African National Congress, after which she received military training in the Soviet Union. The slave community, and they resisted slavery with a passion equal to their men. Similarly, Mama Ruta epitomized the struggle faced by many women who fought side by side with their male contemporaries, such as Oliver Tambo, Nelson Mandela, and Lord Nassau, in dismantling apartheid and its draconian laws. It is through the efforts of people like Mama Ruta that today we celebrate and congratulate Ms. Lerato Mataboge, who was born in Rustenburg. Without knowing it possibly, without claiming it, she stands up for all women, unquote. Bagaetsho, through the Freedom Charter, Mama Ruta envisioned a country and a nation centered on democratic values, social justice, and to improve the quality of life of all citizens. This encapsulates the preamble of our Constitution, which further impresses upon us to heal the divisions of the past through redress and equitable distribution of resources. 30 years later, we continue to draw lessons from Mama Ruta and many other heroes and heroines of our revolution cause to drive a developmental trajectory aimed at achieving a national democratic revolution. Later this year, we'll host a series of activities aimed at preserving her legacy and the contribution of the people of the Northwest in the fight against colonial apartheid rule. Honorable Speaker, in the last few days, our province, like many others parts of the country, had to grapple with inclement weather conditions that have caused widespread damage to households and infrastructure in many communities. We appreciate the efforts of good Samaritans such as Gift of the Givers and many others who extended a helping hand to many of our residents whose livelihoods were severely affected by destructive rains and floods. The Provincial Disaster Management Team is hard at work to profile all the affected areas and to develop a remedial action plan for intervention. Priority, Madam Speaker, will be given to vulnerable groups such as child-headed households, the elderly, and people living with disability. These adverse weather conditions have become a frequent phenomenon due to climate change. This has compelled the government to reprioritize its budget to respond to this calamity, putting a strain on our already limited resources. Musa Khotla, Seboba Rebata Samokwatla Sampa Rampampets. Retaya tšhono e go itsise baagi ba province ya rona gore re le khuduthamaga ya province re samane le go fetola melao le melawana e maikalelo a yona e leng go netefatsa gore tekanyetso kabo ya rona e ungwelwa baagi ba province ka bontsi. The provincial treasury will be seized with the responsibility to develop a framework and resolutions that speaks to localization through supply chain management policies related to the new Public Procurement Act without obstructing the country's constitutional imperatives. Gabutle, Madam Speaker, ga ke a feta gabo a re go tlala. Part of our poverty alleviation programs in rural communities will include working hand in glove with the Northwest House of Traditional and Khoisan leaders under the stewardship of the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development through agri-hubs
in collaboration with the Northwest University, Agricultural Research Council, and other stakeholders. This objective is primarily aimed at driving agricultural development to empower emerging commercial farmers while contributing to a sustainable economic growth to address high poverty levels at rural communities and in the districts such as Dr. Ruth Sohomotsi Mompati and Ngaka Mudiri Molem. On Monday, Madam Speaker, next week, I will be launching a flagship program of this initiative at the University Molelwane Farm in Mahikeng. In the next financial year, we will launch the Ntime Umpelengwana Poverty Alleviation Program, which is centered on addressing hunger and starvation amongst children and youth in economically depressed communities. I want to urge various non-governmental organizations and private sector to partner with us in executing this initiative. Honorable Speaker, we are the first province to introduce breakfast in 300 schools across the province to cushion learners in impoverished communities against high poverty levels in their communities through the National Schools Nutrition Program, NSNP. We can report to the people of the Northwest that breakfast will now be rolled out to cover all secondary schools, while the number of primary schools benefiting from this initiative will be increased from 272 to 350. This means that government will serve 2 meals per day in all these schools. This include Bonwakgogo Primary School in Chaneng, Dr. Mohono, in Rustenburg, Gaecho Secondary School in Buikucho, Ditsobotla, Saruchera Primary School in Huhudi, and Mahikeng Secondary School in Kanana, Orkney. For the next financial year, more than 690 million rands will be allocated to NSNP to feed more than 750,000 learners in more than 1,300 schools in the province. The monthly stipend that we pay to food handlers will be increased to 2,190 rands. Honorable Speaker, through the Ilima Letsema program and the presidential employment stimulus, we are supporting over 5,000 subsistence farmers in ensuring that no household in the province go to bed hungry. 60 million rands has been set aside for the successful implementation of these programs. An additional 80 million rands of conditional grants will support farming communities in increasing food production across the province. Bagaisho, the resuscitation of the Taung irrigation scheme is in full swing, following our ongoing discussion and consultations with Mokgosi and other key stakeholders. The collaborative work that we have between the Falhards Water Users Association, the Department of Water and Sanitation, and the Dr. Ruth Sohomotsi Mompati District Municipality will result in an increase of water supply to households in the areas such as Taung, Pudumo, and Huhudi. Plans are already afoot to also revitalize the Disaneng, Molatedi, Hartebies, and Moibang irrigation schemes. In giving impetus to these plans, we will be hosting a 2-day irrigation symposium on the 5th and the 6th of March 2025 to develop a framework as well as an implementation plan to drive agricultural production in rural and peripheral communities. Honorable Speaker, restoring the dignity of our people remains one of the apex priorities of this government. To date, over 6,000 hectares of land have been restored to communities and rightful owners. Through this program, 4.5 billion was spent on land acquisition, with over 430 million paid as development grants. This will include the Moshe Communal Property Association, where over 670 hectares of land valued at more than 380 million rands were restored to the community, which produces berries for export to the international markets. This restoration has culminated in an investment of more than 40 million rands and has created close to 5,000 seasonal jobs and 34 permanent jobs for the locals. Honorable Speaker, the rollout of road infrastructure projects is in line with our rural development strategy. In the current financial year, 429 million was spent on rural and small towns to link rural and farming communities with the province economic hubs. This includes the upgrading of the Fragas to Madinonyane Road, 2 roads in Maubane, the special maintenance of Swazireneke to Christiana and Ottosdal to Delray roads, as well as the rehabilitation of the Hartbeesfontein to Ottosdal roads. We take this opportunity to appreciate the collaborative efforts undertaken by the provincial government with mining houses to address road infrastructure backlogs in the province. Subsequent to this, the Impala Bafokeng Resources has funded the rehabilitation of roads at Mafenya, Chaneng, and Robega villages at a cost of 39 million rands. The 10-kilometer project was completed in June last year. The recent investment of 160 million by the Anglo-American Amanda Belt Complex gives credence to our ongoing efforts to foster relations with the private sector to address road infrastructure backlogs in the province. The communities of Manamakgote, Sanfontein, Dikweipi, Segakwaneng, and Ramokokastad in the Moses Kotane local municipality will benefit from the 15-kilometer roads upgrade due to be completed in October this year. The company has pledged to fund a road also linking Limpopo and the Northwest via Ramokokastad at an estimated cost of 120 million rand. We are hopeful, Madam Speaker, that this full pledge will finalize and be signed by the end of the current financial year to commission the project for design and construction. All these activities amount to more than 300 million rands worth of investment in our road infrastructure. And today, amongst our midst, we are joined by Mrs. F.N. Makhasane, Mr. Thabo Moyo, Mr. Kaitumela Litebele, who are executives from the aforementioned mining companies who have partnered with government to improve our road infrastructure. Kositari Mautwe, we have heard the cries of the people of Ward 1 and Ward 2 in Moses Kotane local municipality over the lack of a trafficable road between Dwarsberg and Parkersdraai. We have appointed consultants to commence with various investigations for urgent intervention to construct a 27-kilometer TAT road in those areas. I hope the Mokgosi will be very happy. Honorable Speaker, Phase 2 of Nelson Mandela Road in Mahikeng will commence in the next financial year and will entail stormwater construction, rehabilitation of the road, and a non-motorized transportation infrastructure. This is aimed also at alleviating a lot of flooding that is happening along that road of Nelson Mandela in Mahikeng. Honorable Speaker, we have also gathered investment of 9 billion rands by Harmony Gold and China Africa Precious Metals in the city of Matlosan, local municipality. These investments have collectively created and preserved 10,000 jobs. We can also report, Madam Speaker, that the Mahikeng Smart City project, which is a collaborative development initiative between the Northwest and Gauteng, coordinated by the National Department of Human Settlement, will create 20,000 jobs for the people of Madibeng local municipality. This project is estimated to attract investment of between 10 and 25 billion rands. Honorable Speaker, we have allocated 24 million rands to establish what we are calling a development fund to accelerate development initiatives across the province, with a special focus to stimulate economic growth and creating sustainable job opportunities. Honorable members, the work of the Economic and Investment Advisory Council is beginning to yield the desired results. The Council is responsible for assisting the province to drive its industrialization program to lure investment and see to the full implementation of the Provincial Growth and Development Strategy. We envisaged to also establish in the province a regional research, innovation and development office, which will be in and coordinated by the Office of the Premier with specific focus on science, technology and engineering. We have, as a provincial government, partnered, honorable members, with the South African Defence Force and Pillar Jordan Academy to provide training opportunities to 3,000 beneficiaries in artisanal and tooling programs through the South African National Service Institute SANSI pilot program, which is a South African National Defence-led National Youth Service Program, NYS. This initiative is aimed at providing training skills programs through refurbishing of government buildings by young people, as well as providing incubation, mentorship, and market access support to youth-led enterprises. Furthermore, 1,200 young people also are participating in a national youth service program at the Department of Public Works and Roads, Human Settlement, Social Development, Arts, Culture, Sports, and Recreation. And in addition to the aforementioned figures, a further 7,000 young people were provided with skills to enter the job market and be placed in various job opportunities. Moreover, more than 5,000 youth-owned enterprises were supported with financial and non-financial business development intervention by supporting their entrepreneurial skills through the NYDA grant fund. Honorable Speaker, more than 3,000 young people have been exposed to various employment opportunities as ambassadors of One-Stop Center, SMME development through the Empowerment Fund, and as tourism monitors across the province. Our province, Honorable Speaker, will also collaborate with the Department of Small Business Development to accelerate government programs to revitalize village and township economies. As a province, we will drive the partnership through the Northwest Development Corporation and relevant national entities to realize this objective. Honorable Speaker, the Victor Sephora Provincial Bursary Scheme has allocated 10 million rands to benefit students from poor and missing middle households to enroll at various institutions of higher learning across the country. Moreover, 31 unemployed young people from across the province, the Northwest, were recruited in the Nelson Mandela Fidel Castro medical program and to pursue their medical studies in Cuba. They include Matete Retabile of Ntsweletsoku in Zerast, Motsokoti Poloho of Marikana West in Rustenburg, Mohlala Untatile of Matibestad. These are those who are beneficiaries of this program. In addition to this, we have absorbed 157 unemployed medical officers who completed community service between January and July 2024. Madam Speaker, 127 unemployed bursary and non-bursary holders will be offered full-time employment and seasonal posts until availability of funds to fund our vacant positions in government. We will continue to advertise and fill vacant and funded posts in health for health professional posts to ensure that adequate services is provided to our people through the health facilities. Honorable members, our job creation initiatives will include the massification of employment programs such as the expanded public works programs, community health workers, community works and labor activation programs. This will cumulatively create more than 150,000 job opportunities in the aforementioned programs in the next 5 years, targeting at least women, youth, and persons with disabilities. To date, Honorable Speaker, over 9,000 people are benefiting from EPWP, with over 6,000 of them being young people. We are committed to be building a state capacity through infrastructure development. To this end, various infrastructure projects amounting to 1.4 billion were implemented to create a conducive environment for learning and teaching in our schools. This has enabled the Northwest to be one of the best performing provinces, obtaining 4th position with a pass rate of 87% in the 2024 National Certificate Examination. The construction of Mokala Primary, Tlakameng Primary, Chanem Primary, Khasitiwi Secondary, Tsedimoso Primary, Kosi Shope, and Sarafina Secondary speaks to our ongoing efforts to put emphasis on foundational education, which has given impetus to these results we see today. Collectively, these schools have created more than 4,200 jobs during their construction. The construction of over 20 schools in the next 5 years will also create an additional 15,000 job opportunities. These include, amongst the schools, Tlamelang Special School, Raimersville Mega Farm School, Phase 4 of the Lakeso Intermediate School, and the Dinokana Autism School, to ensure that the designated and marginalized communities have access to quality education as well. We have rolled out early childhood development program at all our primary schools, excluding only 8 in the province. And this aid, it's at their own submission that they are not yet ready. It means we have, in line with what Bella is looking for, that early childhood be in all our primary schools. And at the same time, Honorable Speaker, we should applaud World School Swart Regens who have voluntarily indicated their readiness in line with Bella Act to admit learners who are not first language African speaking school. So it's not correct to put a narrative that Bella is being rejected by most of the African speaking people. But guys, we have established a database of scholar transport service providers who are able to immediately replace non-performing service providers without affecting and infringing on our educational activities of our learners. Honorable Speaker, in November last year, 84-year-old Lydia Mere became the owner of a newly built house by government. As tears were running down her face during this important occasion, she had this to say to government, and I quote her, "This is one of the best days of my life. I was beginning to worry that I may depart from this world without having a proper house. This is a legacy for my children." Honorable members, Ms. Mere's story sum up our ongoing efforts to provide shelter to our people. Construction of a new house for the 16-member Mudise family of Ramatlababa 600, who lived in a 2-room shack, has commenced. And during our visit to the village, through our Tuntsale Role Reloaded program, we committed to Mokgosi Manshole to build 84 houses for qualifying residents. We can report in this house, Madam Speaker, to Mokgosi and the people of Ramatlababa that we have fulfilled our promise to build houses for the less privileged. Honorable Speaker, in the next financial year, we will build 3,555 houses across the province, which will include blocked projects, first home finance, and the asbestos removal program. The target for catalytic projects for the current financial year was 249 units at more than 82 million rands, and by the end of the last quarter, we had delivered 268 units, and for the next financial year, we are intending to deliver 500 units, and in particular in the mining towns, at a cost of 90.5 million rands. Honorable Speaker, the Marang Estate project at Unit 3 in Mahikeng is a blocked social housing project that was planned to have 2,400 units and was supposed to be implemented by the Social Housing Regulatory Authority. However, the project ground to a halt due to finding of an irregular sale of land by the Mahikeng local municipality to the developer, as well as misappropriation and mismanagement of the approved project budget. The National Prosecuting Authority, NPA, the National Treasury and the Hawks are now jointly conducting criminal investigations and the preservations of the sites. The NPA has secured a forfeiture order from the court, which mandated consultation with an enforcement officer and the National Treasury to transfer specific properties to entities such as the Northwest Department of Human Settlement, the Mahikeng local municipality, or the Social Housing Regulatory Authority. The land parcels and the incomplete Marang project are currently under the control of a curator. This milestone is significant in the province in unlocking this flagship project, which has been blocked for more than 10 years. We will continue with engagements with the Social Housing Regulatory Authority to ensure that the project is resuscitated in line with our commitment to complete all incomplete housing structures. So Marang will be attended. We will fix it very soon. Bagaetsho, re utlwile selelo sa baagi ba Ramosadi mo masepaleng wa Mahikeng morago ga go thubega ga peipi ya kgelelo leswe. The construction of a 101 million rand new sewer pipe will start in earnest following the introduction of a contractor to the community 2 weeks ago. And various water and sanitation projects are at different stages of construction and completion in Moretele, Moses Kotana, Ramotsere Muila, Maamusa, and Naledi local municipalities with a total budget of 450 million rands. We are responding to the water challenge in this province. This includes the construction of a pipeline from Bloemhof Dam to Maamusa local municipality, which is due to be completed in June this year. Several more projects of a similar kind are underway in Budibe, in Ramosadi, Signal Hill, and Leobatle, amongst others. 65 million rands will be spent in finishing all these incomplete water projects, in particular in Ntsweletsoku, Ditakong, and Dialpan, amongst others. The construction of phase 2 of the Pilanesberg water augmentation project is also continuing and will alleviate provisioning of water challenges, in particular in the Ramotsere local municipality. Honorable Speaker, in the last 2 years, we embarked on a massive investment drive initiative, which culminated in hosting 2 investment conferences, as well as our international trip to the Henan province of China and South Korea. We are excited to announce that the interest to invest in logistic hub to revitalize the George Dick Muntsiwa Airport is back following our concerted investment drive. This investment is in the region of 176 million rands. We are cognizant of the potential of both the Pilanesberg and George Dick Muntsiwa airports, and we have since issued a request for proposals to resuscitate and commercialize the 2 airports. A successful bidder for the running of the 2 airports will be appointed before the end of the current financial year. Honorable Speaker, the NTI remains a critical entity of the state through the provisioning of efficient and safe transport solutions to South Africans who rely in the main on public transport to access economic hubs and markets, social institutions, and the broader economic opportunities. It was placed under business rescue, and a business rescue practitioner was appointed, but in the process, the BRP failed to resuscitate the NTI, and we went to court to have him being removed. The court, Honorable Speaker, has ruled in our favor, proving that the BRP is not fit for purpose. But the victory was short-lived, as the BRP has appealed the ruling. We are awaiting finality on this matter, as we are convinced that the current BRP will not be able to resuscitate NTI. We have appointed in the Dr. Ruth Suhumutsi Mumpati, Honorable Speaker, and replaced a commuter bus service, and we have since made an appointment, and the commuter bus services has resumed in Dr. Ruth Sekhomotsi Moimpati. Similarly, in Ngaka Modiri Molema, commuter bus services also collapsed due to the inefficiency by the service provider. Government is currently finalizing a procurement process to appoint a replacement operator to start on the 1st of April this year in the Ngaka Modiri Molema. So meaning that our people will start to have this service at their disposal. Honorable members, earlier this month, I attended the Africa Mining Indaba in Cape Town with members of the Economic and Investment Advisory Council. Part of promoting investment in mining, which is one of the key economic drivers in the Northwest, will be to lead a delegation to this Indaba next year to promote the province to access the full cycle of the mining value chain in the Northwest. Furthermore, we aim to bring back the Provincial Mining Investment Summit in close collaboration with the Department of Minerals and Petroleum Resources. Honorable Speaker, I would like to take this opportunity to applaud the South African Police Service for their ongoing efforts in halting illegal mining activities in our province. Through the Operation Yavalamkoti, police managed to thwart all illegal mining activities in Stilfontein in the city of Matlosane local municipality. Our crime combating initiatives have proven to be effective in relation to stock theft, gangsterism, gender-based violence, robberies, and illicit mining, amongst others. The Pudumo in Dr. RSM in the Taung area specialized stock theft unit was able to reduce incidents of stock theft in the Greater Taung local municipality and the surrounding areas. This has been achieved through the implementation of the rural safety strategy that we are using as a department. The Department of Public Safety has also developed, just for information, members, programs, campaigns, advocacies, community engagements in Bizos to sensitize our communities around stock theft, and in particular in the Taung area. The establishment of the anti-gang unit in Dr. Kenneth Kaunda district has also helped to reduce what is called contact crime in that area. This is a prevalent crime in the Dr. KK, which is related to gang or gangsterism. The 7th administration is committed to nip the corruption and malfeasance in the bud by working with all law enforcement agencies such as the Hawks, SIU, Asset Forfeiture Unit, and Chapter 9 institution. I have received reports from law enforcement agencies, especially on cases that are under investigation. And these cases include high-profile cases in this province, and some of the cases which are before the courts. To extrapolate further on this, we have entered into a memorandum of understanding with the SIU to investigate alleged corruption and related cases in our state-owned entities. But I want to emphasize, this will not be limited to the state-owned entities also. Also, provincial government will be attended. Honorable Speaker, we remain committed to promoting clean governance, eliminating malfeasance, and preventing financial leakages ensuring that scarce financial resources are effectively utilized to benefit the residents of the province. I'm happy to share that we have seen notable improvements in the audit outcomes, which provides a strong foundation for further progress. We are proud, Madam Speaker, to report that we have achieved 2 clean audits at Provincial Treasury and the Department of Arts, Culture, Sports and Recreation. We have also received 8 unqualified audit outcomes and 1 qualified audit opinion with less material findings at the Department of Education. This marks a significant milestone in our efforts to enhance accountability and transparency. The implementation, Madam Speaker, of the local government turnaround strategy and our financial recovery plan is gaining traction, and there's been relative improvement in the audit outcomes of some of our municipalities. And this will include provisioning of services through the rollout of our accelerated service delivery program called Tunza Lerole Reloaded. The collaboration with the National Treasury through mandatory interventions has enabled us to implement financial recovery plans as well as skills audit, resulting in improved audit outcomes in our municipalities. And in particular, in this instance, Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, Bojanala Platinum District Municipality, as well as Moretele Local Municipality. So our interventions with the National Treasury yes, make serious impact. Honorable Speaker, the equitable distribution of fiscal resources is essential in bridging the gap between our rural and urban areas and ensuring that all regions can grow and thrive. Currently, the equitable share formula that guides the allocation of fiscal resources is under review. A technical committee on finance has established a dedicated task team to investigate this formula and ensure that it accurately reflects the developmental needs of rural provinces such as the Northwest. As a province, we lobbied strongly for this and we will be making submissions in this regard. Honorable Speaker, we are on track to turn around the current state of our Northwest Parks and Tourism Board. We must reposition and revitalize the entity to allow it to derive adequate revenue to sustain some of its affairs and to adequately manage the state protected areas and biodiversity network. We will continue to implement cost containment measures and introduce additional measures where possible, while identifying partnership and stakeholders to assist in achieving the entity's legislative mandate. Among the most immediate plan is to invest in upgrading and maintaining the protected areas network infrastructure. We will also establish a public-private partnership to fund infrastructure restoration and modernization within the protected areas. This will include, amongst others, the upgrading of the Kaswane National Botanical Gardens that will be made possible by the Glencoe 15 million fund that has been provided. We will issue expression of interest for the management and commercialization of all our non-viable parks. We will be getting into asking for expression of interest for commercialization and management so that we get investors to resuscitate all our parks. Honorable Speaker, we have conducted investigations into the traditional leadership disputes of the Mahikeng, Bakubung, Barateo, and the Bakwena Bamatau. The outcomes of these investigations will be made public in due course. The investigative committee into Bahurutsi Bo Manyane, Bahurutsi Bo Muilwa, and Bakwena Ba Mokgopa disputes will start very soon. We have handed over the last batch of 17 vehicles to the Mokgosi to help them carry out their statutory and customary duties. We will be making funding available also, Madam Speaker, to establish a commission of inquiry to probe the Barolombo Ratlo Bo Moshwet traditional leadership dispute. And this is as a result and directed by the Mahikeng High Court, so that we do not find ourselves in contempt of the court. We are also, Madam Speaker, reviewing policies on traditional authorities in the province, which will result in the development of one policy for all our traditional authorities. This support will include, amongst others, issues relating to coronations, burials, and tools of trade. Honorable Speaker, the process to build new and refurbished old clinics is on track. And in the current financial year, we opened 3 new clinics in Ngaka Mudiri Molema and the Dr. Kenneth Kaunda district, as well as bulk pharmacy in Ventersdorp and the Mahikeng forensic mortuary. Added to this, we're giving dilapidated clinics in 8K, Mahogwe, Kofikral, Motantanyaneng, Shila, Chokonyani, Lobata, Lohageng, Kabe, Matsepe, and Velverdien a facelift. All these clinics will be officially open this year. We have spent 76 million rands to buy 75 red fleet vehicles in this province, which are 39 planned patient transport vehicles, 35 ambulances for distribution across the province, and will continue to inject new vehicles in our health system. For the current financial year, we received an allocation through the NHI grant that was used to expand healthcare services benefits through strategic purchasing of services from healthcare providers and strengthening mental health care delivery in primary healthcare and community-based facilities. Honorable Speaker, we want to congratulate the Klerksdorp Tshepong Hospital Complex for successfully performing the first ever off-pump cardiac bypass surgery for 2 patients at the newly built catheterization laboratory at Tshepong, supported by a team from India and Johannesburg Charlotte Maxeke Academic Hospital. Our gratitude also goes to Job Shimankane Tabane Hospital for a successful cancer operation for tumor evacuation removal in conjunction with the private facilities. Honorable Speaker, this demonstrates the capacity of the state to ensure the rollout of adequate provisioning of quality primary and tertiary health care services in our facilities for the benefit of the poor and economically disenfranchised. We will, Honorable Speaker, continue to implement substance abuse prevention and early intervention programs amongst children and youth in schools and in partnership with community-based organizations and other stakeholders. We are mitigating the impact of abuse by providing psychological support, treatment, rehabilitation services at the JB Marks Treatment Center, while the Town Treatment Center provides outpatient, community-based and aftercare programs and interventions in collaboration with the Department of Health. The inpatient treatment sections will be operational this year. Honorable members, through the Social Relief of Distress program, over 10,800 people have received food parcels in this province, while over 6,700 received dignity packs. They include needy families, child-headed households, people with disability, the homeless, as well as people affected by disasters. We have established 3 fully functioning shelters for GBV victims in Vryburg, Mahikeng, and Rustenburg. We will open another shelter in Potchefstroom this year in our fight against the scourge of gender-based violence. Honorable Speaker, one of our child and youth care centers has been a home for 26 undocumented, unaccompanied, and migrant children who were rescued at the recent illegal mining episodes in Stilfontein. We are working on their repatriation and reunification with their families in their countries of origin. Honorable Speaker, we have introduced a flagship program called Rituse Rehutuse, with the aim of taking social development services to communities at a much faster pace. The MEC for Social Development will provide more details on the program when tabling the department budget vote. Honorable members, the door of learning and culture shall be opened. And in living up to this commitment by our forebearers, we are on course to deliver libraries in the Volmaranstad area, Matlosane, Coverdale, in Boitumelong, and Budibe. The Volmaranstad library is almost complete and will be opened very soon. While a site has been allocated for construction in Khanyesa and work will commence very soon. For Matlosane, Coverdale in Boitumelong and Budibe were still at the design stage and progress will be provided in due course. We have also, Madam Speaker, completed refurbishments at the Moshana Cultural Village. The Matloding and Kudungkwane cultural villages will be completed by the end of next month, while the Tseoge and Sioni cultural villages will be reprioritized for the 2025-2026 financial year. Furthermore, we have set aside 4 million rands to refurbish the Mahikeng office of Mabana Arts, Culture, Sports and Recreation Foundation. Honorable Speaker, we recently repatriated the remains of the late liberation struggle and hero Aaron Tiro for reburial at Likubi village in Ramotsirimoilo. His spirit shall live forever and serve as a reminder of the sacrifices endured in the cause for liberation. Our special thanks go to the honorary people of Zambia who hosted Aaron Tiro and many of our compatriots and leaders. They delayed the enjoyment of the benefits of their freedom so that our country can be free. In his memory, we'll continue to forge ahead with our national democratic project. For a revolution, as Fidel Castro once remarked, and I quote, "is not a bed of roses. A revolution is a struggle between the future and the past." Ours is a skewed past centered on exploitation, exclusion, and oppression. But we remain hopeful about the socio-economic prospects of our province, and we are unflinching on our commitment to create a better life of all, irrespective of your race, your class, your gender, or your creed. I thank you. Bayadanki, Ndiabulela, Kyaleboha, Bagash.